Good morning, students. Welcome back to Social Online Class. Students, are you fine? I hope you all are fine and safe by the grace of God. Okay, students, now we are learning economics part. Is it? From economics part, now we are learning economics lesson 1 cross domestic products and its growth. Is it? In the previous classes, some of the topics I taught. Today, I am going to teach about the last topic. Okay, before that, in the beginning of this class, we can recollect few important points about previous class portion. Okay, in previous class, which topic we learnt? Have you remember? Very good. We learned about economic growth and development. Is it? Mainly, we learned about the difference between economic growth and economic development. Is it? First of all, we learned about economic growth. What is economic growth and economic development? Is it? Economic growth. Economic growth is the quantitative measure which considers the rise in the output produced in an economy or nation in a particular period of time, its monetary value. Is it? Economic growth. Economic growth is the quantitative measure. Is it? Quantitative measure of output production in an economy for one particular nation for a particular period of time, its monetary value, that means money value. Is it? Then next we learned about economic development. Is it? Economic development is the qualitative measure. Is it, students? Economic growth is the quantitative measure. Development is the qualitative measure which measures improvement in technology, labor reforms, rising living standards, broader institutional changes and economy, etc. Is it? Then one of the important tool is bring out the development of economy, that is human development index. Is it? HDI. The abbreviation of HDI is very good. Human development index. Okay, human development index. It is one of the tool to measure the real development in an economy. HD is one of the important tool it used to measure the real development in an economy. Is it? Then next we learned about differences between economic growth and economic development. Is it? Differences between economic growth and economic development. Some of the differences we learned. This is one of the 5 mark question. Is it, students? First, some 5 points. Some important 5 points I mark and give. You have to learn. I hope you learned that question. Okay, from there, first of all, we learned about definition and meaning of economic growth and economic development. Is it? I told you that is one of the book inside 2 more question. Definition and meaning of economic growth and definition and meaning of economic development. Is it? Students, have you remember what is the definition and meaning of economic growth? Very good. Economic growth is a positive quantitative change in the output of an economy in a particular time of period. In a particular period of time. Is it? Then, students, have you remember what is the definition of and meaning of economic development? Excellent. It considers the rise in the output in an economy along with the advancement of HDI index. Consider the rise in living standards, technology, overall happiness index, etc. Okay. Then next, followed by we learned some of the differences between economic growth and economic development. For example, concept, nature of approach, scope, tenure, applicability, measurement of techniques, frequency of occurrence, government aid. Uh, Through these areas, what are the differences are there from economic growth and economic development? That full details we learned in the previous class. That is one of the 5 mark question. Is it, students? I hope you learned that question. Then finally we learned about developmental path based on GDP and employment. Is it? Finally, we learned about developmental path based on GDP and employment. That means India is going some of the developmental path. That means because of introducing some of the policy on closed trade, India's economic condition is developing. Is it? And also, India reduce the dependence of foreign products and companies. Is it? Because many industries are set up in India, the production were also increased. So the income also developed in Indian economy. Okay, then the poverty in the rural areas, poverty alleviation also bring some of the improvement. That means eradicated the poverty because of the improvement of the economic condition. Is it? Then these are the things we learned in the previous class. Today we are going to learn about factors supporting Indian development. Okay, students, now let us come forward to today's class. Today I am going to teach about factors supporting Indian development. Before that, we learned about the developmental path based on GDP and employment. What are the factors are supporting the development of Indian economy? Okay, first of all, the fast growing population of working age, it is one of the important factor. Which is one of the important factor? The fast growing population of working age. Okay, for example, um, up to the age of 35, that age is most important working age. Okay, most important working age is up to 15 to 35 years. The age of 15 to 35. Okay, in India, 700 million Indian people were up to the age of 35. So, the working age, that is the working age, so the protection is increasing. Because of working age people, the production were increased. Okay, the Indian economy will get improved development. Okay, comparing last decades, 20 years, at least between 20 years, our Indian economic conditions were get some of the development. Okay, then India has a strong legal system and many English language speakers. The second important factor, the first important factor is working age. Okay, because of 700 million people were working age people, so the production will increase. Secondly, India has a strong legal system and many English language speakers are there. That means many English language, the people were get improvement about the speaking of English language. So this has been a key to attracting investment from companies. For example, information technology, specialization of information technology. Through information technology, we are getting so many improvement through that industrial areas. Is it? Many English speaking peoples are there, so they involve attract the investment from the companies. Okay, then India's economy has successfully developed because of attractive clusters of business in technology space. That means different clusters. Clusters means firms, different companies, group of companies. Clusters means group of companies. Because of group of companies, Indian economies get improvement. Can you understand, students? Three important factors are there to support Indian development, Indian economy's development. Okay, there are three factors where support to improve our Indian economy. The first one is fast growing population of working age. That means 700 million Indians were up to the age of 35. So, these working age people were work hard and they produced more things and improve our economic condition. Okay. Secondly, India has a strong legal system and many English language speakers are there. Okay. So that particular people were attracting investment from the companies, mainly information technologies areas. That means they are used some of the, with the help of their knowledge, they are using some of the techniques to through the productions area. So through that ways our Indian economy also will get development. Okay, the third important factor is India's economy has successfully developed because of attractive clusters of business and technology space. Clusters, that means group of businessmen and group of companies were formed and they produced more things and they improve, they developed our Indian economic condition. Okay, these are the important factors supporting the Indian development. That means developed the Indian economy. Okay, Indian economy. Then the next one is the Human Development Index. Next one is the Human Development Index. Listen very careful, students. In 1990, Makbuk ul Haq, he is one of the Pakistani economist who is in United Nation. Okay, in 1990, Makbuk ul Hajj. He is one of the Pakistani economist who was in USA. He introduced the Human Development Index. Who introduced the Human Development Index? Makbuk ul Haq. Okay, Makbuk ul Haq, who is one of the Pakistani economist. Okay, he introduced the Human Development Index, HDI. What is the abbreviation of HDI, students? Human Development Index. Okay, the HDI is the composite index of life expectancy at birth, adult literacy rate, and standard of living measured as a logarithmic function of GDP adjusted to purchasing power parity. Okay, India climbed one spot to 130 out of 189 countries in the latest human development rankings released today by the United Nations Development Program. That means between 1990 and 2070, India's HDI value is increased. That means 1990s, India's HDI value is 0.427, but in the year 2017, the India's HDI value is 0.640. That means it is increased nearly 50 percentage. The HDI index is increased nearly 50 percentage. Okay, so it brings some of the improvement. That means it eradicated millions of people out of poverty. It eradicated the millions of people through the poverty. Okay, then the next important topic is growth of GDP and economic policy. The next important topic is growth of GDP and economic policies. Listen very careful, students. Many economic policies are framed by the government of India. After independence, many economic policies were framed by the government of India. That particular policies were helped to increase the rate of economic growth and economic development. Okay, in India, after independence, many economic policies were set up by the government of India. So that particular policies were helped to increase rate of economic growth and economic development. Okay, now I am going to teach about some of the important economic policies. Okay, there are three important economic policies are there. The first one is agriculture policy, second one is industrial policy, third one is new economic policy. Listen very careful, students. In India, there are three important economic policies are there. Many economic policies were framed by the government of India, but from there, Three important economic policies are very, very important. Okay, the first one is agriculture policy, second one is industrial policy, and the third one is new economic policy. Okay, now I am going to explain one by one. The first one is agriculture policy. The first one is agriculture policy. Agriculture policy, it is the policy set of government decision and action relating to domestic agriculture and imports of foreign agriculture products. Listen very careful, students. Agriculture policy, it is one of the important policy. Agriculture policy is the set of government decision. Agriculture policy is the set of government decision and action. Government decision and action. It is related to some of the domestic work of agriculture and imports of foreign agriculture products. Okay. Then some agriculture policies are price policy, land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy, and cooperative policy. Listen very careful, students. Agriculture policy, it is the set of government decision and action relating to domestic agriculture and import of foreign agricultural products. Some of the agricultural policies are price policy, land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy, and cooperative policy. Okay. Then the second important economic policy is the industrial policy. The second one is the industrial policy. Industrial policy, it is a very important aspect of any economy. Industrial development is one of the very important aspect of any economy, and also this industrial development creates employment. Okay, the industrial development will create so many employment for the people. It promotes research and development, and it makes the mainly it makes the economy self-sufficient. Listen very careful, students. The industrial development where creates some of the employment for the people. It promotes research and development, and it makes the economy self-sufficient. Okay, and also industrial development boosts other sectors of the economy. For example, it boosts the agricultural sector and service sector. It is closely related to the development of trade. Mainly, this industrial policy is closely related to the development of the trade, and also it helps to the sectors of agriculture sector and the service sector also. Okay, then several industrial policies have been enacted. Since 1948, industrial policy is a large scale industries. For example, textile industry policy, sugar industry policy, price policy of industrial growth, small scale industrial policy, and industrial labor policy. Some of the industrial policies are textile industry policy, sugar industry policy, price policy of industrial growth, small scale industrial policy, and industrial labor policy. Okay, can you understand, students? Then the third important economic policy is the new economic policy. The third one is the new economic policy. Listen, students, the economy of India had undergone policy in the beginning of the year 1990. After 1991 itself, the reforms were created through the industrialization. Okay, this new model of economic reforms is commonly known as LPG. Okay, the new model economic reforms is commonly known as LPG. LPG, the abbreviation of LPG, L mean liberalization, P mean privatization, and globalization, G mean globalization. Okay, these economic reforms influenced overall economic growth of the country. Okay, these economic reforms were influenced to create overall economic growth of the country. Okay, can understand students? There are three economic policies are there. The first one is agriculture policy, second one is industrial policy, and the third one is the new economic policy. Okay, then the last topic is cross national happiness, GNH. The abbreviation of GNH is cross national happiness. Okay, listen students, the term cross national happiness, it was coined in the year 1972. The term cross national happiness was coined in the year 1972. Important book inside one word question. Okay, cross national happiness was coined in the year 1972 by the British journalist. Okay, it was coined in the year 1972 by one of the British journalist. Okay, British journalist. He was the king of Bhutan. His name is Jigme Singhi Wangchuk. His name is Jigme Singhi Wangchuk. Okay, he coined the cross national happiness in the year 1972. He said cross national happiness is more important than cross national product. Listen very careful students. The British journalist, one of the British journalists coined the cross national happiness in the year 1972. He mentioned cross national happiness is more important than cross national product. Okay. In the year 2011, the UN General Assembly was passed one of the resolution of happiness. It approaches to development. It approach to development. Okay, and also it approach the fundamental human whole. Okay, fundamental human goal. Okay, there are four pillars of GNH is there. There are four pillars of GNH. The first one is sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. Second one is environmental conservation. Third one is preservation of culture. And the fourth one is good governance. Okay, the first one is there are four pillars are there in GN Heights. The first one is sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. The second one is environmental conservation. And the third one is preservation and promotion of culture. And the last one is good governance. Okay, then there are 9 domains of GNH. 9 domains means activity. Okay, domains means activity. There are 9 activities are there in GNH. They are physiological well-being, health, time use, education, cultural diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity, resilience and living standard of people. These are the 9 domains. That means 9 activities of GNH. GNH is mean cross national happiness. Okay, can you understand students? Shall we recall the points? Students, today we learned about factors supporting Indian development and growth of GDP and economic policy. Is it? First of all, I am going to recall about factors supporting Indian development. That means what are the factors are support to improve our Indian economic condition. Okay, there are three important factors we learned. Is it students? The first one is a fast growing population of working age. Fast growing population of working age. The fast growing population of working age is 700 million working age Indians are there. It is one of the important factor to support improve our economic condition. Okay, then the second important factor is a strong legal system and many English language speakers. Is it? Many English language speakers are there. So they attract the to investment from companies and they involve some of the information technology areas. Then the third important factor is attractive clusters. Attractive clusters of business in the technology space. That means many group of companies and many group of businessmen were doing some of the trading work and production work to improve our economic condition. These three factors are most important factors to support Indian economic conditions development. Okay. Then next we learned about Human Development Index. Is it? Next we learned about Human Development Index. Okay. Human Development Index. In 1990, the Human Development Index was introduced in the year 1990. Okay, students, it is one of the one mark question. In the Human Development Index was introduced in the year 1990. Underline it. One word question. Human Development Index. It was introduced in the year 1990. Then second, next important one word question is Makbuk ul Haq, a Pakistani economist, introduced the Human Development Index. From here, two one-word questions are there. Okay, the Human Development Index was introduced in the year 1990. That is one-word question. Then Makbuk ul Haq introduced the Human Development Index. It is the second important one-word question. Okay, then finally we learned about growth of GDP and economic policies. Is it? Many economic policies were framed by the government of India for the improvement of our economic condition. From there, three important policies. There are three important policies are there. Is it? What are the three important economic policies? Very good. Agriculture policy, industrial policy, and new economic policy. Is it? Agriculture. The first one is the agriculture policy. Is it? Agriculture policy. It is set of government decision and action. It is relating to domestic agriculture and imports of foreign agricultural products. Okay. Then some of the agricultural products are price policy, land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy, and cooperative policy. Listen, students, this is one of the 2-mark book inside question. Okay, this is one of the 2-mark book inside question. Some of the agricultural policies are price policy, land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy, and cooperative policy. Then the second important economic policy is the industrial policy. Industrial policy, it is one of the important policy. It creates employment and it promotes research and development, and also it makes the economy self-sufficient. Okay, and also it is related to the development of trade. The industrial policy is related to the development of trade also, and it helps the agricultural sector and service sector also. Okay, then some of the industrial policies are textile industrial policy, sugar industry policy, price policy of industrial growth, small scale industrial policy, and industrial labor policy. Okay, then finally we learned about new economic policies. The third important economic policy is the new economic policy. The new economic policy was set up in the year 1990. Okay, in the year 1990, this new model of economic reforms is commonly known as LPG. The abbreviation of LPG is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. That means through this new economic policy, overall our country's economic conditions were get some of the development. Okay, then at last we learned about cross national happiness. Is it cross national happiness? It was coined in the year 1972. It is one of the important one word. National happiness was coined in the year 1972. Then the next important one word is it is the national happiness was coined by one of the British journalists whose name is Jigme Singye Bangchak. Okay, that also you underline it, one word question. Then we learned about the 4 pillars of GNH. Is it? First is sustainable equitable socio-economic development, environmental conservation, preservation and promotion of culture, good governance. Okay, these are the 4 pillars of GNH. Then finally we learned about 9 domains. Okay, 9 domains of GNH. That means 9 important activities of GNH. Is it? They are physiological well-being, health, time use, education, cultural diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and reliances, and living standards of people. These are the 9 domains of GNH, 9 activities of GNH. Okay, these are the things we learnt in today's class. Students, I completed this lesson. Is it? I completed this lesson. Now you all are take a book. I am going to give the notes. Okay. All are take a book. Turn page number 301. All are take a book. Turn page number 301. Choose the correct answer. Turn page number 301. Choose the correct answer. The first question is GNP equals GDP plus net property income from abroad. C option. First one answer is C option. Second question, national income is a measure of total value of goods and services. D option. Second question, D option. Third one, primary sector consists of agriculture. A option. Then fourth question, dash approach is the value added by the each intermediate good is summed to estimate the value of the final goods. Answer is value added approach. Value added. B option. B option. Next one, which one sector is highest employment in GDP? Answer is service sector. C option. Answer is service sector. C option. Then sixth question is cross value added at current prices for services sector is estimated at dash lakh crore. 92.26. B option. 92.26. B option. Then India is dash larger producer in agricultural product. Second. D option. D option. Then eighth one, India's life expectancy at birth is dash years 65. A option. A option. Next one, which one is a trade policy? Import and export policy. B option. Import and export policy. Then last question, Indian economy is all the above. That means developing economy, emerging economy, dual economy. Answer is D option, all the above. Then fill in the blanks. Dash is the primary sector in India. Agriculture. Answer is agriculture. First one answer is agriculture. Second one, GDP is the indicator of dash economy. Health of economy. Health. H-E-A-L-T-H. Health of economy. Third question, secondary sector otherwise called as industrial sector. Third one, secondary sector otherwise called as industrial sector. Then Roman number 3, match the following. Roman number 3, match the following. Electricity, gas and water. Answer is industry sector. Answer is industry sector. Second one, price policy. Answer is agriculture. Price policy. Answer is agriculture. Third one, GST. Answer is tax on goods and service. Fourth one, per capita income. National income by population. Then fifth one, C plus I plus G plus X sum. Answer is gross domestic product. Answer is gross domestic product. Okay, students. Then Roman number 4, give short answers. Already I gave 5 questions. Is it? First 5 questions already I gave. Then sixth question, write the name of economic policies in India. Write the name of economic policies in India. Page number 299 and 300. Page number 299 and 300. There, growth of GDP and economic policies on getting is there. Is it? From there, 3 important economic policies are there. Is it? The first one is agriculture policy, second one is industrial policy, third one is new economic policy. That heading alone you have to mark. Heading alone. Okay, agricultural policy, industrial policy, new economic policy. Okay, that heading alone you have to mark. Okay, then next question, write a short note, cross national happiness, human development index. That question you refer the guide. Seventh question you have to refer the guide. Okay, you have to refer the guide. Then detail, first question already I gave, second question, third question gave, then fourth question in the previous class I gave. Is it right? Any 5 differences between growth and development. That also in the previous class I gave. Then last question you have to mark now. Explain the following economic policies. Explain the following economic policy. Agricultural policy, industrial policy, new economic policy. Is it? That answer page number 299 and 300. Agricultural policy fully, industrial policy fully, new economic policy fully. You have to mark page number 299, agricultural policy fully, new industrial policy fully, new economics policy fully. Okay, students, I gave all the question answers. So, I completed geography part fully and economics part fully. Okay, students, I completed geography part fully and economics part fully. Okay, from here any doubt you will ask today interactive class. Okay. Okay, students, sorry. The next week interactive class you have to ask if you have any doubt means you have to ask the next interactive session. Okay. Okay, students, we will meet the next session. Thank you.